سلام از استکهلم خوشگل. واقعا شهر خوشگل و زیبایی، خیلی خوشگله. هم سوار این اتوبوسا بشم بریم داخل آب ببینیم چجوریه. کاخ رویاله، فیلماشو میذارم، خیلی خوشگل بود، خیلی شهر سرزنده‌ای، خیلی و خیلی تمیزه. مثل قبل ما بره بعد سوار شیم.
Alright everyone, welcome aboard this ocean bus. Sweden's first and only amphibious bus actually. So this is the vehicle Estelle. And Estelle is a very, very heavy lady because she actually weighs 10 tons and that is without passengers. And right now she is 3.5 meters tall. And later on, when we hit the water, if everything goes well, she'll be 2.5 meters tall. Now, just a quick language check. Hur många förstår mig när jag pratar just nu? Räck upp en hand. Okej, så en stor del utav den här turen kommer vara på engelska. Jag kommer att försöka byta lite fram och tillbaka. Det är bara att säga till om det är något som är otydligt på svenska som jag ska ta ett varv till. Okej? Now. I should probably introduce myself. You're probably wondering who I am. I'll be your guide, and my name is Aisha. And this right here, the one responsible for our safety, your captain today, is Pelle. Give him a big applause. And now I actually want to let you in on a little secret, okay? People are gonna be staring when we drive by. And I'm going to let you know that it's because they're all a bit jealous they're not riding with us. They're a bit jealous of you, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to give them a big smile and I want you to wave very big, okay? I'm gonna make sure you're all waving throughout the tour. And I'll also be playing some music for you, so please let me know if the volume is too loud. But I also want you to let me know if the volume is too low because we're gonna party, alright? Now the first thing that I want to point out for you on this tour is the Royal Dramatic Theatre that is right in front of you and soon on your right hand side. Kungliga Dramaten. It was established by our culture king Gustav III back in 1778. This building itself, however, was finished in 1908. And one thing about this building is that the architect designing it wanted at the very last second of building this to be taller than every building around it to show that it's slightly better. And if you look at the very top of this building, you'll therefore notice a dome. It's a bit difficult to see, but I promise it's there. And this is where you want to be if you're an aspiring actor here in Sweden, because with over 1,000 performances each year and 6 stages, this is where you want to be. And right now we are driving down Birger Jarlsgatan, named after the man who founded Stockholm himself, Birger Jarl. And this was back in 1252, so this is an old city. And today, this is Stockholm's high fashion street. Here you will find Prada, Gucci, Burberry, Blueberry, any berry you can imagine. You will find it on this very street. And this street will also take you towards the nightclub center of Stockholm, Stureplan, or Sturepé, and it's also locally known as. And one thing that people do in Sturepé when they party is a dance move known as veven. And you do that by putting your hand in a fist and pumping it in a circle. And I want everyone to do this with me, all right? And this is actually what people do all night long here, with a lot more jumping. Now, the first thing that I want to show you here in Stureplan is the restaurant Sturehof on your right-hand side. And Sturehof is a Stockholm institution because it has been on this very location since 1897, and it is actually open 365 days a year. And back in the 1920s, 2 men decided to have some crayfish right there, and after probably a few too many drinks and a lot of fun, they decided to build a car together, and that car is today known as Volvo. So to celebrate this origin story, Volvo actually used to invite all of their workers for a crayfish party once a year, until they grew a bit too big to do that. Now, one more thing I want to show you here in Stureplan is svampen, the mushroom right here on your right-hand side. This statue is a very well-known local meeting spot. So if you tell anyone, you see us vid svampen, or I'll meet you by the mushroom, they know exactly where you're talking about. So if you really want to blend in here, you can always try doing the event at the mushroom. It might work. Now I'm actually going to quiz you. How is veven done again?
I can't tell where the journey will end,
Come on, how is it done?
but I know where to start.
Good.
They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me.
And now to something that might be the complete opposite of this. On your left-hand side, you will find the Royal Library, Kungliga Biblioteket. And this building right there was finished in 1807. And back in 1661, the then ruling king decided that he wanted every publisher here in Sweden to send at least one copy of what they published to the Royal Library. And as you can imagine, that is quite a few books. So the latest addition to this building you actually can't see today because it's a 5-story underground building that was added in the 80s. And Stockholm has about 40% parks and green areas. And one of these parks you will find on your left-hand side as well. Because this right here is Humlegården. And Humlegården can be translated to hops yard. And what is hops the main ingredient of? Beer. And that is something that we have brewed in this country since the 1200s. And this right here is where most of the hops here in Stockholm used to be brewed. Nope, grown. And today it has been transformed into this gorgeous park. And I highly recommend a walk through here because it's very beautiful. right now we are headed down Kanavägen, and Kanavägen can be is named after three of our kings, all named Karl. So Karl the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. And this is a part of Östermalm, and Öst means east, so this is the east part of the city. And during the 1800s, this was actually the city's slum area. But today, as you can see, it has been transformed into quite a posh neighborhood. And this is actually one of 4 streets in Stockholm where you will find a avenue of trees similar to this on your left-hand side. And one thing about the people who live on this street is that they are not very careful about how they park their vehicles. Because this street right here is home to the most amounts of parking tickets issued in Sweden every year. And I feel like I should point out, this is not a very long street. Now I have another question for you. Who is this?
So wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older.
Don't worry, I'll tell you. This is the Swedish DJ, Avicii. And Avicii, or Tim Bergling as his real name was, actually went to high school on your left-hand side where Östra Realgymnasium is today. And this is one of the larger high schools here in Stockholm. And our former Prime Minister Carl Bildt also went there. Now very soon we're gonna head into one of the largest roundabouts here in Stockholm, Karlaplan. And this was actually designed, this roundabout was designed so that when you look at it from above, it resembles a star with 6 different directions. And you'll also be able to find a fountain on your left-hand side in the middle of this roundabout. And this fountain is generally turned off in the beginning of June every year. Any guesses as to why? It's because our dear students usually graduate at that time, and to celebrate, they like to go for a swim. Something the city's not very fond of. And if you keep looking on your left-hand side, you will notice a brown building. This brown building is named Strindberghuset, and it is named after the Swedish author August Strindberg who lived there. And in that house, we've also had Ingmar Bergman live, very famous Swedish director and writer who was nominated for 9 Oscars and won 3 of them. And he's actually very well known for his movie Fanny and Alexander from 1983. Now, Stockholm has about over 100 museums, and one of them you will find on your right-hand side now. This right here is the Museum of History, Historiska Museet. And one thing it is very well known for is its gold room, Guldrummet, where you will find gold and silver objects from as far back as 400 AD. Now, right in front of us, and soon visible on your right-hand side, you can find Djurgården. And Djurgården can be translated to animal yard. And it has been a part of the royal family's properties since the 1400s. And back then, it was actually the king's private hunting area. And this was until the 1700s when a king named Adolf Fredrik decided to open it up to the public instead, allowing the social life here in Stockholm to flourish. And today, it is one of Stockholm's largest tourist attractions with about 15 million visitors each year. And to get to Djurgården, you will have to pass Djurgårdsbro, the bridge. And I want you to pay attention to the four corners of this bridge. Now, on these corners, you will find four statues of our Nordic gods, asagudarna. You will find one of Heimdall with the horn, Thor, Frigg, and Freya, all of them ready to protect the bridge. And this is actually a bridge that we will very soon be under, so I hope they're doing their job today.
Like a lonely man, without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the peace in the better than
Nobelparken is named after the Swedish innovator Alfred Nobel.
Very small.
And at the bottom of the fence on your left-hand side, you will find a statue. And he is currently dressed in Swedish colors. I hope everyone got a good look. That statue is actually of Alfred Nobel himself, and he's positioned so we can watch over his own park. And the clothes that he's wearing are actually made by one of our captain's mother-in-laws. And right now we are driving through the beautiful diplomatic city, where most of the embassies here in Stockholm lie. And very soon on your left-hand side, you'll be able to see the smallest church. And it is this brown building on your left-hand side. This is the English church, Engelska kyrkan. And it was moved here brick by brick from its former location. Now, most of these gorgeous villas that you can see on your left-hand side are embassies. And very soon you'll be able to see the largest embassy here in the diplomatic city. And they actually chose a different architectural route. And that is the big gray building in the back. That right there is the American Embassy. And they were in fact so fond of this design, they decided to build an exact replica of this one in Copenhagen. And if you keep looking on your left-hand side, you can see Gärdet. Gärdet means field. So this whole big green field is all a part of it. And this is where soldiers used to practice to prepare themselves for war back in the day. And today this is where we like to host festivals because it's a very big green field.
like a lonely man. Without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the same. like a lonely man. Without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the scenery better than trees.
Important it is that you hold on when we head into the water. So, please put at least one hand on the seat in front of you. Hold on to your phones, because we have dropped phones before. Hold on to your purses, and if you like your children, you might want to hold on to them too. Just make sure you hold very, very tightly, alright? Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
Like a lonely man. Without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the scenery better than trees. You like a lonely man. Without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the
Any guesses? Don't worry, I'll tell you. Now, this is actually a regular Volvo truck that was shipped to the United States, where a man named John, who's very passionate about this, actually encased the bus in aluminum and removed some parts and added some parts. And right now, the captain is using a joystick right here in the front to steer, and we have a propeller in the back and a rudder as well that is used to push us forward and steer, just like a boat. And actually, when we headed into the water, the captain pushed a button to change the steering from a regular truck to a boat. So that's how this bus works. And now, if you look on your left-hand side, almost completely covered by trees actually, you can see the very top of the building. That is the Nordic Museum. Nordiska museet, and that is where we keep track of Nordic history specifically. That building itself was finished in 1907, and our dear king actually turned 70 not too long ago. And to celebrate that fact, we actually partied for 3 days straight, as you do when you're royal, of course. And one of these days he actually spent right there in the Nordic Museum, that you can see more clearly now, as well as the blue gate that I mentioned. And Stockholm, I mentioned, has over 100 museums, and most of them you will actually find right here in Yuro. Because here you will find the Viking Museum, you will find Alban Museum, you will find the Museum of Alcohol, you will find the Biological Museum, you will find... Honestly, I can't call them all. I can't say them all. There's a lot of museums. And most of them you'll actually find right here, as I mentioned. And what you'll also find is the world's first and only open-air museum, Skansen. And one thing about Skansen is that we have a very dear tradition to us here in Sweden, where every single year we host a show from Skansen known as Allsång på Skansen. And Allsång på Skansen can be translated to everyone sings along at Skansen. So, what we do is we sit at home in front of our TVs, 8 o'clock every Tuesday during the summer, and we sing along with our TVs. And just to give you a little taste of this, I will play you the intro song to the show that is actually a tribute to this beautiful city. If you look on your left-hand side, you will notice 3 red masts. And these 3 red masts belong to the Vasa ship. And that right there, that building, is the Vasa Museum. And the Vasa ship was a ship that was built in the 1600s. And it was built as a tribute to the King Gustav Vasa. And this ship was, of course, meant to be a very big, round ship. And the mast in the middle is actually as tall as it was when it was first built. So the mast is actually 52 meters tall. And this ship was not only built very tall, but it also happened to be built very narrow. So when this ship left the royal palace over there, on its way towards Poland, it actually sank very, very quickly, thus giving us Sweden's first submarine. Very early with that technology. Now this ship actually was lost to us for about 300 years until a man named Anders Franzén managed to find it. And today, this is the oldest and actually only ship from the 1600s that you can visit today. So, I highly recommend a visit to the Vasa Museum. In front of us and soon very clearly visible on your right hand side when we turn, you'll be able to see Kastellholmen. And Kastellholmen is the second smallest island here in Stockholm, and it's the one with the red building and the flag waving at the very top. And the flag waving at the top of this building is known as the peace flag, Fredsflaggan. And when this flag is waving, it means that Sweden is at peace. And very luckily for us, it has actually been waving for over 200 years, except one fateful morning, the 17th of May, 1996, when the residents of the area woke up and noticed a Norwegian flag there instead. And this was very concerning for everyone. So they panicked. They called the police, they called the military, they called journalists, any authority figure they could think of, just to ask, have we been invaded by Norway? What's going on? And the answer to that is no, of course not. It was actually 2 Norwegian students who had way too much fun the night before and decided to pull a prank on their neighbors. Strongest girl. Vem är världens starkaste tjej? Pippi? You're very correct. Pippi Longstocking is her English name. and her full Swedish name is Pippilotta Victoria Vilhelmina Kusvinda Efraimsdotter Lundström. Very long name. And she was written by Astrid Lindgren. And Astrid Lindgren is a very beloved author, not only to us here in Sweden, but all over the world. Because she's actually the 20th most translated author of all time. And she's been translated to over 100 languages. And a lot of the characters in her books, you can actually visit on your right-hand side where Junibacken is today. Now, when Astrid passed away in 2002, it was like a state funeral here in Sweden. The royals themselves were there to mourn her, as well as the Prime Minister at the time, Göran Persson. And when we were redesigning our bills, it was decided that we would commemorate her on our 20th crown bill. And not only Astrid, but also a little Pippi playing in the corner of the bill, which I will actually go ahead and show you now. We have to know, right? Can't leave here without knowing where it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the top of that hill on your right-hand side, that is where you will find it. It's a very cute building. I'm kidding, of course. Don't worry. The Norwegians might be humble, but they're not that humble. Now, that whole area that you can see is actually a part of Skansen, the open-air museum that I mentioned earlier. And that building just happened... And now, I'm actually gonna let you in on a little secret about us here in Sweden, okay? One thing we always have time for here. It's of course our very own and very dear ABBA!
Like a lonely man without me, you're not like everyone. That's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the team. It's finally better than dreams. Like a lonely man without me, you're not like everyone. That's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the team.
Now, if you look on your right hand side, you will find Berwaldhallen. And Berwaldhallen is named after the Swedish composer Frans Berwald. And this concert hall is actually very big. It doesn't look very big, and that's on purpose, because the architects designing this concert hall didn't want it to take up too much space in the neighborhood. So most of the concert hall is actually built into the mountain. And there's been a lot of icons play there, including our very own ABBA as well. Strandvägen, and Strandvägen can be translated to road by the beach. And this street right here is actually the most exclusive address in all of Sweden. And if you want an apartment here, it's gonna cost you, and it's gonna cost you about 30,000 euros per square meter. Now, I feel like I should point out these are not small apartments. Now, this whole street is actually a project that took about 40 years to complete, because the architects had a very specific vision in mind. They wanted each building to look a little bit like a palace. So if you look at the facade and all the roofs of the buildings, you'll notice a lot of intricate details you wouldn't find in other apartment buildings. And an exclusive address, of course, means there's been a lot of famous people live here. And one of them is Ingrid Bergman herself, a Swedish actress who's ranked the 4th most influential actress of all time. And she is very well known for her role as Ilse Lund in Casablanca. "You will always have Paris" is a very iconic line from that movie. And another person who's also lived on this street is Per Gessle. And Per Gessle, along with Marie Fredriksson, started a band known as Roxette. And they grew very, very famous with this song.
Like a lonely man without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the same, because we are the team. It's better than two. Like a lonely man without me, you're not like